Guys, real quick, just like to say congratulations to our great fan base, this great city, and really the entire organization. Certainly Clark Hunt and the Hunt family for all their support and everything they do. Mark, Andy. Last year, we certainly had the opportunity to show the league what type of talent we had on the field, and I think this year we got to show them what type of talent we have in the organization to get through this season with all the adversity. Everyone just chipping in. Our trainers are phenomenal. Our training staff, the facilities people, the grounds crew. It's been challenging, but we're certainly blessed to have the talent we have top down. So thanks to all those guys for their support throughout the season, and it's a blessing to work here and work for them. So that I'll take your questions.
We'll go first to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Brett, you guys have been pretty open and consistent with the run it back thing, right? There's some organizations that might look at that as like, oh, that's a little bit much. I just always got the feeling that you guys saw that as a way to sort of stay focused, stay motivated. Am I right about that? What was your view of that part of it?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, look, we have a great locker room, and when you have guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Pat Mahomes on each side of the football, those guys are going to demand attention to detail, just like the head coach. So our guys embraced it. They love being not, I guess in years past, we were the hunters, but they embraced being the hunted, and they love that challenge. And these guys are always looking for ways to motivate themselves. So that was another way to do that.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Brett, I'm just interested from your perspective, just obviously accomplishing this. Obviously, you need guys who are putting the roster to play well, guys like Jairus Snead, Nick Allegretti, Mike Remmers, and obviously Daryl Williams, obviously playing in the postseason for the first time. Can you just explain how rewarding it is to give those guys a chance to have success alongside, obviously, the stars?
Yeah, we say it every year going into the drafts in the offseason. These are long seasons. These are week in and week out. It's tough to win games. Long seasons, battle of attrition, and it's not a question of if, but when the next guy's got to step up. So we really take a lot of pride in building the roster, and certainly we have superstars at the top. But we know as the season goes on, as you mentioned, Nate, guys like Mike Remmers and Daryl Williams. I mean, those guys keep seasons going, and those guys are going to be called upon. And you never know when, but these guys train, they prepare, and they work their tails off. But certainly, we know how important depth is in this league, and that's why I think our staff does such a great job of being aggressive at any point, not just free agency in the first round of the draft, but just staying active throughout the course of the calendar year.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Brett, congratulations.
Thanks,
I'll have a couple things for you here. First of all, when did you know that Pat was not just going to play, but play as well as he did tonight, and after all he had to overcome this week? And Brad, I'll have one quick follow-up.
Really just the dialogue I had with Rick throughout the week. And I mean, you guys know Pat as well as anyone throughout the country. Just I mean, he's a competitor, and I think he has that ability to kind of work through pain, and you see it really throughout his career, whether he had a shoulder, an ankle, a knee. I mean, shoot, the guy came back last year after dislocating his kneecap, and I think 2 days later he was in the pool doing drops. So you knew there wasn't going to be really anything to keep him off the field, and if he was cleared medically, that he would manage the pain in the toe. And I think he had some pain afterwards, but you knew once he put the helmet on out there, he was going to give you everything he had, and he certainly did that tonight.
And as you were building this team, when did you start thinking in terms of multiple championships rather than just the one, if that makes any sense? I know you take nothing for granted. I get that part of it, but I'm just wondering when, Clark kind of alluded to this when you guys were building this, that maybe there was going to be an opportunity for more than just one. And I'm just kind of wanted to get into your thinking on that.
Yeah, I think the approach that we have is we had a good core and a good nucleus with Pat and Chris and Tyrann, and I think our mindset was to just fill in as much talent as we could, and we knew. I mean, I think when you have a Hall of Fame coach and you have the best player in the National Football League, that you're going to have a chance to win every game. So I think we know that there's a good chance we'll be able to go out there and compete week in and week out, and it's just a matter of filling out the depth of that roster and making sure that when we do run into some issues throughout the course of the season, that we're prepared from a depth standpoint, and that's the challenge. And Certainly this year with COVID, there was even more challenges. But again, go back to just the strength of the organization on all levels. It really pays dividends when you have a season like we have this year.
The last to Herbie Teobi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Brett, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Herbert.
Just a quick follow-up to Nate Taylor's earlier question on Jairus Snead. You obviously thought well enough of him to draft him, but when did you know, at what point this season, that you actually had something special with him?
Well, really, I guess, it was early on. The first few starts, he's, I'll tell you what, we certainly got fortunate. I think had they had one of these draft do-overs, you can make a case for Jairus being selected in the first round. So I guess we were maybe lucky, more lucky than smart with that one, because he probably, in retrospect, shouldn't have been there in the fourth round. But again, Steve and his staff, Steve has a great feel. Dave Merritt and Sam Madison are phenomenal as well. Steve has a really good eye. And I remember talking to Steve during draft process and going back and watching Jairus a couple of years ago when he played corner as opposed to safety his final year at La Tech. And but the talent's there, and that's the cool thing about working here as general manager. If the talent's there, the coaches will get it out of them, whether it be Coach Reed and his staff, Coach Bienemy, his staff. And we just got great coaches that find a way to put these players in position to make plays, and they certainly have done that with LJ. And he's been phenomenal all year.